Become unrecognizable. There comes a point in your life when you have to make a decision. Not another promise, not another plan, not another Monday. A decision. You look at your life and realize that nobody is coming to drag you out of the place you've fallen into. Nobody is coming to build your body. Nobody is coming to strengthen your mind. Nobody is coming to create your future. And that might sound harsh, but it is actually freedom. Because the moment you stop waiting for somebody else to change your life, you realize that the power was in your hands all along. Give yourself 90 days, not to become perfect, not to become rich overnight, not to suddenly have every problem disappear. Give yourself 90 days to prove that you can keep promises to yourself. Wake up when you said you would. Train when you said you would. Walk when you don't feel like walking. Work when motivation disappears. Read instead of scrolling. Save instead of wasting. Build instead of complaining. And when life gets difficult, keep going. Because every time you do something difficult when you could have taken the easy option, something changes inside you. You begin trusting yourself. That is where confidence really comes from. Confidence isn't created by standing in front of a mirror telling yourself you're powerful. Confidence comes from evidence. You said you'd train. You trained. You said you'd get up early. You got up. You said you'd stop making excuses. You stopped. You said you'd change your life. And slowly, you started changing it. One promise at a time. One day at a time. One victory at a time. This is the principle I believe in more than almost anything else. Get 1% better. That's it. Because when you're standing at the bottom, looking at the mountain, the summit can feel impossible. So stop staring at the summit. Look at the next step. Then take it. I know what it feels like when life seems completely out of control. And I also know what happens when you start stacking small victories. You don't rebuild a life in one heroic moment. You rebuild it through ordinary decisions, repeated over and over again. One workout, one walk, one productive hour, one difficult conversation, one good meal, one day where you refuse to quit, then another, then another. At first, nobody notices. That's the hardest stage. You're changing, but the world hasn't seen it yet. You're working, but there are no rewards yet. You're creating, but nobody is watching yet. You're training, but the mirror hasn't changed yet. You're saving, but the numbers still look small. This is where most people stop. Don't. Because this is the forge. This is where your iron mind is being built. Marcus Aurelius wrote about how the obstacle in the path becomes the way forward. Think about that. The thing standing in front of you might actually be the thing that develops you. The rejection, the failure, the difficult year, the broken relationship, the business that didn't work, the video nobody watched, the workout you didn't want to do, the fear you didn't want to face. You can spend your life asking, why is this happening to me? Or you can ask, what can this teach me? That second question can change everything. Because now pain has a purpose. Difficulty becomes training. Failure becomes information. And fear becomes somewhere to walk toward. That's the iron mind. It isn't a person who feels nothing. It isn't somebody who never struggles. It isn't somebody who wakes up motivated every morning. It's somebody who has learned to act despite how they feel. There will be mornings when you don't want to get up. Get up anyway. There will be workouts you don't want to do. Start anyway. There will be days when your confidence disappears. Move anyway. There will be moments when you wonder whether any of this is working. Keep going anyway. You don't need to win the entire year today. Win today. That's your battlefield. Today. What can you control today? Your effort, your attitude, your actions, your standards. That's enough. Forget trying to control everything else. You cannot control what people think about you. You cannot control the past. You cannot control every outcome. But you can control what you do next. That is where your power lives. And here's what happens when you repeat this long enough. Your identity begins changing. You stop saying, "I'm trying to become disciplined." And eventually you say, "I am disciplined." You stop saying, "I'm trying to train." You become someone who trains. You stop saying, "I'm trying to build something." You become a builder. That's when everything changes. Because habits are no longer something you're forcing yourself to do. They become evidence of who you are. Imagine yourself 90 days from now. Stronger, calmer, more focused, more disciplined. Maybe your bank account has improved. Maybe your body has changed. Maybe your business has moved forward. Maybe your channel has grown. Maybe you've finished the project you've been talking about for years, but something even more important has happened. You respect yourself again. Because for 90 days, you kept showing up. Now imagine 6 months, then 1 year. People underestimate what can happen when somebody becomes obsessed with consistent improvement. 1 year of training, 1 year of learning, 1 year of building, 1 year of refusing to return to the person you used to be. You can become unrecognizable. And I'm not talking about your face. I'm talking about your presence, the way you walk, the way you speak, the way you handle pressure, the way you respond when something goes wrong. Because you've been through difficult days voluntarily. You've trained yourself. You've built evidence. You know you can survive discomfort. That's why discipline creates freedom. The disciplined person doesn't need perfect circumstances. They carry their standards with them. And there is another version of you waiting on the other side of your excuses. Picture that person. Picture where they live. Picture how they feel when they wake up. Picture the work they've created. Picture their health, their confidence, their relationships, their peace. Now understand something. That person isn't coming to rescue you. You have to build them. Every decision today is a vote for the person you were, or a vote for the person you're becoming. Choose carefully, because your future is being built right now, not next year, not Monday, not when life gets easier, right now. So here's your challenge for the next 90 days. Stop negotiating with the weaker version of yourself. Train, walk, work, learn, create, eat better, sleep better, control what enters your mind, keep your promises. And when you fail one day, because you probably will at some point, don't turn one bad day into a bad week. Reset immediately. The iron mind isn't built through perfection. It's built through returning to the path, again, and again, and again, until quitting stops being part of your identity. One day, you'll look backwards and realize something incredible. The mountain that once terrified you is underneath your feet. And you'll understand that you didn't get there through luck. You built yourself. One decision, one rep, one step, one day at a time. So start now, not tomorrow, today. Your future self is waiting. Make that person proud. Build the body. Build the discipline. Build the future. And above everything else, build a mind that cannot be easily broken. This is Iron Mind Motivation. Stay disciplined, stay focused, and keep moving forward.